What is up YouTube? It is your boy Dingaling Singh and I bring to you today an in-depth comparison between the FFAR and the RAM 7 in Call of Duty Warzone. Right, so before we kickstart this comparison video, let's go into the details of what this video is all about. We're going to be looking at both weapon stats, the damage profile, we're going to be checking out the recoil control pattern, and I'm going to be explaining how to use these weapons in certain situations and the best secondary guns to supplement the primary, so that way you can go around Verdansk slapping everyone out of the lobby. And if you haven't done so already, hit the subscribe button, make sure you put the bell notification on so you don't miss out on any other future comparison videos that I do on this channel. I will be looking into comparing the HDR sniper with the TW3 Tundra. I'll also be looking at the Finn LMG versus the Stoner 63. Anyways, let's get straight into this video. So both assault rifles are most effective close to mid-range. Starting off with the rate of fire. For the FFAR, the rate of fire is 900 rounds per minute, and for the RAM 7, it is 856 rounds per minute. For the reload speed, the FFAR is 2.48 seconds, whereas the RAM 7 is 2.40 seconds. So there's not much of a difference between the reload speed and even the rate of fire. Okay, so ADS speed, aim down sight, for the FFAR is 238 milliseconds, and for the RAM 7, it is 217 milliseconds. So the RAM 7's ADS is quite a bit much more faster than the FFAR. But the movement speed between the two weapons, they are very close. FFAR comes at 4.69 meters per second, and the movement speed for the RAM 7 is 4.70 meters per second. So there's really no difference there. Okay, so check this out. The bullet velocity, there's quite a huge gap between both weapons. Right, so for the FFAR, the bullet velocity is 628 meters per second. And for the RAM 7, it is 720 meters per second. That's a huge gap, so the bullet travels a lot more faster for the RAM 7. Therefore, the bullets register a lot quicker when hitting the opponent. Now, looking at both weapon stats, the FFAR is definitely winning in rate of fire, but the bullet velocity for the RAM 7 is far more superior. But let's check out the damage profile and let's see which weapon kills faster. Starting with the FFAR. To the head, it does 45 damage, which means it only takes 6 shots to down an opponent with full health and full armor. For the RAM 7, it does 42 damage to the opponent's head, which again does the same amount of shots to kill, which is 6. To the chest, the FFAR does 33 damage, which means it takes 8 shots to kill, and for the RAM 7, it does 28 damage, which is 9 shots to kill. So the damage drop off for the FFAR is 36 plus meters. So that means at 36 plus meters to the head, it does 37 damage. And to the body, the FFA does 28 damage. Now for the RAM 7, the drop off is 28 plus meters. So that means to the head, it does 34 damage, and to the body, it does 23 damage. So the FFAR's damage drop off is a lot more further than the RAM 7, and even though it's a lot more further, it still does more damage than the RAM 7, which is really interesting. But let's go have a look at the time to kill, the TTK, for both of these weapons. For the FFAR, it will take 333 milliseconds if all shots hit the head, and for the RAM 7, the TTK to the head is 350 milliseconds. Now to the body, it is 467 milliseconds for the FFAR, and for the RAM 7, 562 milliseconds. Now I know that not everyone can hit all their shots to the head. Some of them will hit the body. So I've broken it down like this. If you was to get one headshot to the opponent and the rest in the body, it will take 8 shots to kill and a TTK of 467 milliseconds for the FFAR. If you manage to get 2 headshots, then it will be 7 shots to kill with a TTK of 400 milliseconds. And if you manage to get 3 headshots, it's exactly the same. And for the RAM 7, if you manage to get 1 headshot, and then it will take 9 shots to kill with a TTK of 662 milliseconds. And if you manage to get 2 headshots and the rest on the body, it will take 8 shots to kill with a TTK of 491 milliseconds. And it's exactly the same for 3 shots. 8 shots to kill and a TTK of 491 milliseconds again. So it's really clear that the FFAR's TTK is a lot more faster than the RAM 7, and I'm bringing it down to 2 things. So the first thing is definitely the fire rate and the damage as well. The damage drop off for the FFAR is a lot more further than the RAM 7, and it also hits harder as well. So obviously the TTK for the FFAR is a lot more better. So let's look at the best attachments for these weapons. Starting off with the FFAR, you want to go for the agency suppressor as a muzzle. It works the same as a monolithic suppressor for Modern Warfare guns, keeps you off the minimap, and it also increases your range too. For the barrel, you want to go for the 21.2 inch Ranger barrel. This increases your range, and obviously for the underbarrel, you want to go for the field agent grip because it is the best for vertical and horizontal recoil control. For the ammunition, you want to go for the 50 round fast mag. And for the optic, you can choose whatever you fancy, but I do recommend something like the Axial Arms or the Vision Tech 2x. I like using the Silic Hollow Scout because it is quite a close range weapon and it is a close range scope. So choose whatever you guys fancy for the optic, but just remember this is more of a close range to mid range weapon, more on the close range side of things. Now for the Ram 7, the muzzle, you want to go for monolithic suppressor, keeps you off the minimap, and it also increases your bullet velocity and range. For the barrel, the best one is the FSS Ranger, gives you higher bullet velocity and increases your damage range. Optic VOK 3.0, this gives you hidden horizontal and vertical recoil control. And for the underbarrel, it does the same thing. Commando foregrip gives you horizontal and vertical recoil control, and it doesn't lower your ADS speed. And for the ammunition, you want to go for 50 round mag. Both weapons, you have to have as much ammo as you can because the fire rate on both of these weapons are really fast. Okay, so now we're going to check out the recoil control on both of these weapons. Starting with the Ram 7, it goes vertically and then it starts to go towards the left side, but it's still going up. And for the FFAR, we are 20 meters out, by the way. So for the FFAR, it's going completely vertical, going straight up into the air, but for some reason the bullets are not as tight as the Ram 7. As you can see, it's quite spread out, the shots. So let me try to control the recoil on the FFAR and see how it goes compared to the Ram 7, and as you can see, the shots are really spread out. Now let's check out the Ram 7. The shots are much more grouped together. So to be honest with you, if you are a newbie and you're just starting out in Call of Duty, the Ram 7 is much more easier to control compared to the FFAR. So in terms of situational use, these weapons are most effective close to mid-range. So these are the ideal weapons that you want to use when you're pushing up against enemies that are camping inside buildings. In terms of a good secondary weapon, it's got to be either a marksman rifle like the Kar98 or the sniper TW3 Tundra or the HDR. Because these weapons are so close ranged, you need to have a long range weapon in order to take those out from afar, because these weapons, recoil control in it's not going to be as effective. So my final thoughts on which close range assault rifle is better, the FFAR or the Ram 7. Now personally, I'm going to pick the Ram 7, and the reasons why is because you can control the recoil much more easier when you're taking on enemies mid-range. And despite the fact that the FFAR has a much more faster fire rate and a better damage profile, the Ram 7's bullet velocity is so much better. That just means that the bullets will be hitting your target a lot more faster. So you got better recoil control and you have a much more better bullet velocity, and damage profile is quite similar anyway to FFAR. So personally, the Ram 7 is my go-to gun over the FFAR. Anyways guys, if you haven't done so already, don't forget to subscribe and put on the bell notification. Give this video a massive like, and don't forget, I got more videos like this coming out. It's your boy.